Is Reiki a light language? Are Reiki symbols a light language symbol? Quite something to think about and time, and lately in my morning meditations, it's been a really prominent topic that I've felt guided to share and talk about. So I'm Eleanor Corey. I'm a Reiki master teacher, have been practicing for 20 years, teaching for 19. I'm also a Kundalini yoga teacher, instructor, spiritual and life guide, lead sacred journeys, and all kinds of other wonders that I like to experience and share. And today I would like to dive into this surge that we're experiencing in Hawaii, where I live, and been seeing a lot and have been exposed to various light languages. And it's been very much a term that, you experience and hear a lot more in healing circles and in spiritual circles. And I went to an event recently that was, really a lovely experience. And as they were sharing their light language symbols, it was so phenomenal because it so reminded me of the Reiki symbols. And I just wanted to touch in and share my sense with it all and how they in a way merge. One of the beautiful things about Reiki is that it is incredibly inclusive, and as I said, I've been practicing it for 20 years, and it's been really funny on my path. I've definitely been exposed to all kinds of spiritual and healing paths and different yogic and meditation paths, and I find myself to be more of an eclectic individual that, really dives into different modalities and different disciplines and different traditions, and I find that they all have benefit and that there's a common thread between them all. And on my Reiki journey, there's always been a feeling of like, well, there's just something else that I'm supposed to dive into, or there's something else that I'm supposed to experience, or there's something else that I'm, that's my gift that I'm meant to share. That's always been a part of my journey from the beginning, actually. And it's been pretty phenomenal for me to really experience that. It's always comes back to Reiki being this umbrella for it all. And that's the beauty of it all, as I mentioned earlier, is that it is very inclusive. It really reflects all the different paths. For me, it weaves in with Kundalini yoga. It weaves in with all of my journeys around the world to all these powerful power places. It weaves into ascended masters and bodhisattvas and illumined guides. It weaves into all of those various paths, and it definitely, lately weaves in with the whole topic of ascension. It's also connected. So back to light language, my intention was to really create this vlog and this video on Reiki symbols. Are they light language symbols? And what came to me really strong was, well, Reiki is a light language. Period. I mean, Reiki is soul energy. It's universal life force energy. It's universal light. It is our very own soul's light. It is our very own source's light. And it is the language of our soul. It is the essence of our soul. And that becomes more apparent once you're taking the trainings and you've gone through the years of practice with it. Or some people, it's just innate and a knowing, So, and that's the beautiful thing about Reiki, is that it's not something outside of us, it's within us. And that light language is us. And of course, in the discipline of light language, which I'm obviously not trained in, and it's not my discipline, but there's elements of speaking a language that just comes channeled, and it's not English, it's whatever, and each person has a different connection to that, which my experience is just like Reiki. Reiki is a ray of our soul, it's a ray of our source, and everybody relates to it in their unique way. And one of the things that I teach when I teach Reiki is that the first thing that's conceived in the womb is a thread of light. We're often taught that it's the brain, and in my acupressure training class, when I was taking massage school, our acupressure teacher shared with us that actually it's a thread of light, and that thread of light is the soul, that is the nervous system, that informs the creation of our entire physical body, that's suffused and infused with light, which is life force. So talk about a light language, right? And that is Reiki. And Reiki is that energy that suffuses and infuses our physical body and surrounds our physical body. And the Reiki system is a system that was created by Mikao Usui to help us to maintain that light field within us that is us. Through, in a way, I experience Reiki like a light language system, and the Reiki symbols very much for me reflect a light language symbol. Now, the way that I know and work with the symbols is that the Reiki symbols are not outside of me. They're within me, and they invoke essences within me. They are intended to be embodied. When I was first trained in Reiki, there was definitely an element of it's something that I activate, it's something outside of me, it's something that I draw, which I still do. It's something that connects to Reiki beings. They're like Reiki beings, so they're like, light languages. They have energies of their own, and they shift our energy. And that was one way of being introduced to them. And definitely it has kind of a quality to that. However, the more that you work with them, the more that, for me, that I dived into the Japanese original Reiki system and how Usui intended it to be, the symbols really reflect his experience on Mount Karama. Really, they reflect his light language, if you will, his light experience, his enlightenment experience on Mount Karama. And they're very much a journey of that. And I dive more into that in my Reiki trainings and in my Reiki mentorship sessions. So if you're wanting a little bit more of that, then definitely connect in. There's some links that I'll leave below that can support you in that. But the symbols in their essence are a light language symbol, and the symbols do invoke aspects of our light source, our light system, our energy system. And the Reiki symbols, when they're audibly spoken, they do shift frequency in us and around us. And their shape also shifts essences and elements within us, help us to clear, help us to align, help us to focus. And ultimately, in my experience, Reiki symbols and Reiki itself shifts consciousness and moves us from a suffering victim consciousness to a more expanded, sovereign, enlightened, enriched awareness of who we really are. For myself, I would definitely say light language and light language symbols is its own discipline, and it's something that is growing and that is beautiful, that's kind of coming into the planet. And Reiki has a very similar component to it, and Reiki energy and the Reiki system and the Reiki symbols. I hope that this was inspiring anyway and connective in any way. If you liked it, please go ahead and like and subscribe so that you get more of my vlogs and videos. I'll be sharing obviously on the topic of Reiki, and there'll be others as well on Kundalini Yoga, on health, on daily practices, on more esoteric topics, and on this Ascension New Earth. And I'm hoping to do a vlog at some point too, related to my recent Egypt journey. So if there's anything particular that you'd like to hear or would like me to do a little vlog or tutorial on, please comment below and let me know where you're connecting from. Would love to hear from you. Wishing you a beautiful rest of your evening or day.